Um, Councilor Bartlett, he did, ask to be excused. Councilor Narva asked to be excused. Councilor Ballard did ask to be excused. Councilor Connor is here. Councilor Soltesiak,
Here.
Councilor Panko.
Here.
Councilor Lewis. Here. Councilor Spindler. Here. Councilor Bruno.
Here.
And Councilor Marlowe did ask to be excused. Manager Lack, please record a quorum.
Thank you.
Approval of minutes dated August 28th. I need a motion.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Right.
Any opposed? Manager Lack, please record a unanimous vote. Motion to approve the payrolls dated September 6th and September 20th in the amount of $199,541.56 and invoices totaling $309,344.52.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Manager Lack, please record a unanimous vote. At this time, I will open up the public comment. Yes.
Mary Kay Riley. I'll set my timer. I just wanted to comment about the Park Mobile, which I believe is $1 an hour. And has a 15-cent surcharge on it. That goes directly to Park Mobile, and I think that's going to affect businesses. That's a lot of extra money to just run in someplace. Also, I would like you to think about deliveries, and before you make changes again, to maybe plan and think about the consequences of those deliveries. As I understand it, UPS, FedEx, and Amazon and Giant delivery people are being told that they cannot double park or park wherever, that the borough wants them to park in a loading zone and then walk to their destination. None of those businesses need us. We are nothing. And all they have to do is put up lockers. And none of you are going to get delivered to your door. These guys work on time. I've known delivery people for 50 years. I've worked with them. They can't go home sometimes until their phone is empty. And right now they're laughing because they know you cannot make them do what you want them to do. And you can write tickets for them. And UPS and FedEx get so many tickets. And then it's goodbye Jenkintown, we're going to lockers. Okay? So please think about the ramifications before you make the drastic change. Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Oh, yeah.
I just think, Mary Jane, that the parking is still 50 cents an hour. So the parking fee didn't increase. There's a 50 cents transaction fee. So I just want to say, I just used it this evening because I'm parked outside. So I'm paying for 2 hours of parking and it's costing me $1.50.
I'm sorry, I thought at some of the places it was here.
Yeah, it's $1 an hour on my side.
Maybe if you're in Glenside or
Yes.
Cheltenham.
It said,
What did it say on West Avenue?
$1 an hour on one of the meters, because I saw one in her baby truck trying to figure out what she was supposed to be doing. Was she supposed to shut her phone? Was she supposed to put $1 in there? That's what it said. It's the meter.
On West Avenue.
Yeah,
In front of where?
David Arnold's. Between the post office and David
Oh,
Arnold.
look at that.
and I kind of remember a couple of months ago that she was saying that eventually everything was going to go to $1. But from what, as I understand it, that service fee or whatever.
The meter itself didn't say that. There was a thing across it that said that, some kind of sign. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Manager Lock, are you aware of any public comment by way of social media or email?
I have no email or Zoom. You can take me one
Yeah, I
second.
don't see any hands up on Zoom. Okay, yes,
Hi, Mary Doherty from Monday. I wanted to add on to Mary Jane's comment. I think I've read on different places that in the example that you just gave, Councilwoman, if you didn't need to spend the 2 hours worth, if you have a certain part of the app, you can go on and retrieve, say, I'm done parking. And some of that money would be refunded to your account.
Yes,
yes,
So, maybe that would be something that would be helpful. That when this whole thing is public for good, that were bold, italicized and highlighted. That it might take some of the sting out of, the reaction that's going to come.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for that.
yeah, we can put like a link to learn about Park Mobile.
Yeah. Okay, I'll move on to reports, engineer, before I move on to reports, I just want to note that, we did have an executive session, to discuss potential litigation and personnel. I will now move on to the engineer's report, Mark Bickerton, is with us from Pinellas.
Yes, good evening. Our report's been filed. I can take any questions on it. At this time, just the two things I wanted to give you an update on. One, we're gonna be assisting with the opening of the CDBG ADA ramps project. That's this Friday, assuming that we get bids, which I expect we will. The other one's a little not great news, but I think we have a resolution and a path forward. So, we ran into a bit of a snafu with the paving project. As you may be aware, during the originally scheduled bid opening, no bids were received. We followed a procedure that's been used dozens of times, if not more, to extend it. And I guess PennDOT had a different interpretation of, administratively how you were allowed to proceed with extending the bids. So we were presented with two options. One was to rebid the project. Two was to proceed with a solicitor review on our end, produce our findings and then be subjected to a PennDOT solicitor review up in Harrisburg central office, which would take likely up to 6 weeks to move forward with. That said, the shortest path to getting the project back out on the street and getting it done and hopefully getting it done this year would just be to proceed with the rebid right now with the minimum time period. I guess we're requesting authorization to rebid from council this evening. We could, if we get that, we'll put a advertisement together and, update the dates. But it should be able to be rebid within 2 weeks. And so we'd be looking to bring a recommendation to award back to council either for the October committee meeting or the October council meeting.
It's not too late to start cementing.
So it would be pushing us right up against the period. Now there is, we are entitled to request an extension of the paving period, which the cutoff is October 31st. It wouldn't give us a waiver from, weather conditions, right? So if there's snow, if it's cold, it doesn't give us a waiver for that, but we could request a waiver. It happens frequently. So that's our best chance of getting it done this year.
The paving project.
It was on Walnut from Washington to Green. Thank you.
Thank you.
And as part of that motion, we would want council to authorize us to ask for the extension of time from PennDOT, which is normally October 31st to pave. But as long as the day they're paving is 40 degrees or better, they can pave with the extension from PennDOT. So we get the motion to advertise. We're asking that motion also reads that we submit for the extension of the paving schedule. Right, they call it the paving schedule. Right. And there's one more piece of that also. The RCO. we'd request a waiver for the waiting period from the RCO, not, yeah, we would still comply with it, but just a waiver on the waiting period.
So is there a reason why we didn't get in bids the first time around?
You know, I'm gonna have to get back to you with why we didn't get bids the first time, but we did get bids when we extended it, and I think it was a 1 week extension.
I'm not sure of the time period, but we had fewer bids the second time.
Right.
But we did put a lot of calls out and let people know that it was out to bid.
Okay, yeah, I you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
no reason to do the same thing.
And end up with no bids. No, we would probably do, you know, the more aggressive approach that was done the second time around.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Jay,
do we need to have a motion for that?
I know, I believe.
It's on your agenda under action item 9. And I was making notes, so should the council member need a recommended motion, I can help.
Public Works Department, Foreman Riggins is not here, but I'm sure Manager Lack will tie it into his manager's report. Solicitor's report, Mr. Hitchens.
Thank you, Mr. President. Solicitor's Office continues to provide legal services on an as needed and as requested basis. Additionally, I want to make a formal announcement that one of my items that is going to be a priority is looking at the draft ordinance that the Planning Commission has repeatedly and politely asked that I take a look at with regard to short-term rentals. The delay has been mine and mine alone, so I apologize. So if anybody's getting yelled at about it, say, nope, it's Patrick's fault. It's all mine. So, yeah. Thank you.
Police chief's report, Chief Scott is on a vacation this week, so he has been excused. So I will move. I missed the.
You missed skip the mayor.
Sorry. The mayor's report.
Thank you, President Connors. I do have a few items tonight. First, I did a wedding for a couple in the town square a couple of weekends ago, which was nice. I did mean to ask Counselor Bartlett while he was here before he left about the chili cook-off and pumpkin drop, which I haven't heard a date yet. I would imagine it's going to probably be November 2nd or 9th. So hopefully we'll get that information out to the community. Another reminder or timeline is to remember to register to vote by October 21st. I don't know if we're going to talk much about it, but we did have the meeting to talk about parking. And we will also have another meeting to talk specifically about resident permit parking. So we'll be communicating that out to the public as well. And lastly, as President Connors mentioned, Chief Scott is on a well-deserved vacation. Hopefully he is relaxing. He works tirelessly for our community. He's doing a tremendous job, and I think we appreciate him.
I second that.
Yes, sir.
Smart.
Yeah. Hiring him was one of our best decisions. So great job. Great job. Enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Manager's report, Manager Lack.
There's a report in your packet from me. It's kind of brief this month. We are working with Edmunds GovTech, and we've made that decision to move to the financial and code software program in 2025, which means that we have to start the transition now. And part of that is fitting it into the 2025 budget, which is probably the hardest part of the transition. But we are working on that. I met with Abington Township Assistant Manager to discuss our multi-municipal grants. We do have matching funds that are upcoming for the connections management or connections plan on Washington Lane, which is coming along, and I've heard some nice compliments of the work over there now that they're starting to button it up. On the Jenkintown side, they're still working in Abington, and they need to complete it by the end of the year. So what they're working on. So hopefully they'll be tightening that up as well. They have decided to do the handicap ramp that they were not going to do at Greenwood and Washington on the southeast corner. It was actually destroyed in construction, so they didn't really have a choice but to do it. We did have a pre-bid meeting for the CDBG ADA ramp on the east side of town. There's 22 ramps being put in, and that project is out to bid. Mark, do you know the day that they open that by any chance?
This Friday.
This Friday? Great. So hopefully we'll get some bids on that and get that project moving. The county came down for the pre-bid meeting and Mark was here. That went on last Friday. We had a community playground meeting at the school district. The playground committee that's made up of residents and a group that originally built the playground and has maintained it throughout the years. They came, the building inspector was there, Chief Lynch, or Fire Marshal Lynch was there. The school district had their people there. And they've obtained a structural engineer report of the playground and what repairs need to be made. The school district is going to pay for the repairs. They have a contractor lined up. And after the repairs are made, Pinoni is going to send in a certified playground inspector to make sure that everything's up to par and it's safe for the children before it's reopened. Also in the meeting, we agreed to meet again, but in the meeting, they started talking about the future of the playground and what will be needed for upkeep and fundraising to keep that structure in place there. We had a couple new businesses come in, a nursing school, an adult nursing school moved into, or was approved to move into 101 Greenwood, 101 West Avenue, I apologize. It's a nice business. They're over in Wingcote and they've grown too much for their structure. And they were actually considering buying the building, but they're going to take up a floor and see how things work out. It has plenty of parking for them. Park Mobile, I think we briefly talked about that. We had the parking meeting, the community parking meeting, which went very well. A lot of good ideas. We agreed to meet again and work on the parking permit situation. We met for a little over 2 hours and we touched on the parking permit, but it was obvious that there's a lot more to discuss and things to work out that we'll be working on. And we're going to set up another public meeting to work through that. Council had approved the sale of some surplus borough equipment. There's a couple trucks and a trailer have been sold on that municipal bid website. We earned $20,000 in bids that was brought in as revenue, and that equipment has been picked up with the exception of the trailer. We're waiting for a title to come in. There was a little snafu with the title. So Police Explorer is still up for bid. So that is not figured into that. I can answer any questions that you may have. I really don't have a Public Works update for you. He gave his report last week and I wasn't left one tonight. But I could try to answer any questions.
Awful, really, I don't know what difference between what Public Works doing, JEAC and the community. I mean, really, the trash, I rarely see much trash, a great job.
I'll pass the word to them. The one thing I will mention is curbside yard waste next week will be done on Monday instead of Tuesday because the entire Public Works is going to go to training for winter maintenance of the roads and use of salt and brine.
Brine, my favorite.
More early.
I would just like to say, Manager Locke, please extend our thanks to you and to Foreman Riggins for doing that municipal bid process and getting rid of the outdated equipment and getting some revenue for the borough. So I really appreciate
I'll
it.
pass that on to him.
It's not nothing. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I will move on to the order of business. Number one. Resolution 2024-23 Montgomery County Tax Collection Committee. I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-23 appointing the finance director and borough manager as Jenkintown Borough delegates to the MCTCC.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Matters elect, please record a unanimous vote. I will fill in for Counselor Ballard. The 2025 Public Budget Workshop meeting schedule. I make a motion to publicly advertise the 2025 Public Budget Workshop meeting schedule.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions?
The community is welcome. It's
Yeah.
very informative.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The matters elect, please record a unanimous vote. 2025 minimum municipal obligation pension plan contributions. I make a motion to approve the MMO pension plan contributions for 2025 in the amounts of police $285,669 and non-uniform $48,196.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions?
I just want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we are to be commended for having fully funded pension plans. Nice job.
Pension plan is in good shape. I mean, it goes up and down with the market.
Yeah.
It's in good shape.
Well, we meet our obligations each year.
Yes.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Matters elect, please record a unanimous vote. Act 49 of 2024 police pension credit for prior service. I don't have language.
That is because we needed it on the agenda to bring it to your attention. We're asking you to vote on it next month when we provide the remainder of the information.
Okay.
We're only a couple documents away from having everything in your hand, but we're asking that you read everything that was provided. This act was sworn in by the governor, and the municipalities have to choose whether to adopt it or not.
Okay.
There's a chart in there on how it would affect our pension, the borough's pension, and what the number of officers that would participate in it, and how financially the borough is responsible for a portion, the officers are responsible for a portion. There's still, we still don't know, there might be one or two officers added to that list.
Okay.
But we think that what you have is complete. And we should be able to bring the rest of the information. There's an officer that might want to participate in it at the end of October, so we definitely will bring it for a vote in October too. But if you have any questions, we could get answered by Conrad Siegel, that's our actuary.
Yeah.
But he did an actuarial study that's provided to you in the packets. If you want to look through.
Right. Do I need to?
I would suggest making a motion to table this matter to October.
Okay, I make a motion to table number 4 on the agenda until October 2nd. I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Matters elect, please record a unanimous vote. Number 5, Counselor Zoltizi.
Okay. Borough Code 172-36, suspension of provisions, erection of signs. I make a motion to request on the chief of police to temporarily suspend the provision of chapter 172-26. Designation of loading zones on West Avenue and erect temporary 20-minute parking signage in these locations.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Matters elect, please record a unanimous vote. Yeah, go ahead.
Jenkintown Fire Department Fire Chief Command Vehicle. I make a motion to authorize the borough manager to continue to work with the borough fire chief to finalize quotes and proceed with the retrofit and paint of the Ford Explorer Interceptor.
Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Matters elect, please record a unanimous vote.
Thanks. I really think that's gonna be a really great addition to the borough.
Yeah.
And really great to the fire chief.
Is it a different one than the one we were trying to sell?
It would have been going up for sale next. It's still in commission. We just took it out. No, it's not the one for sale.
It's not much for sale.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Jaytown Fire Department, engine 96 Spartan pumper. And make a motion to authorize Borough Fire Chief Lynch to obtain an estimate of repairs.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Matters are allowed, please record a unanimous vote.
I'm on a roll. Park management, park mobile, coin payment option. I make a motion to authorize the borough administration to move forward with the transition from on-street coin-operated parking meters to electronic payment as part of the upgrade and modernization of the borough parking payment system. Expected completion December 2024.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions?
I just wanted to make the comment that I know that this does, switching to something like this that's fully mobile and automated does pose challenges for some people. And I really think that and it for me, it was kind of like a hard thing to accept. I will say that for the longest time, I kept saying that it was not really fair to some communities, some populations of people. But I really, through all the work that everyone did, kind of researching the impact of the borough of not making this change, I think that it really is in the best interest. And I've moved forward with this.
Do the banks force her?
I think the banks actually, I mean, it's something that we've been thinking about, and I think absolutely true, the banks did force our hands. But I don't think it makes sense to spend fast staff time rolling orders.
And also some of the meters are in bad repair.
Yes.
So you have to replace them anyway.
And no longer being, new ones are no longer being made, right? So many reasons.
Okay, number 9, Councilor Penn.
Wait, we didn't vote.
We did, no, we did. And that also, that conversation took place after the vote.
Okay. It's just kidding. We didn't. Yeah, why did
We'll watch the tape. Okay. Becky. Right, is there any comments?
we made our comment?
Colin?
Aye.
Matters are allowed, please record unanimous. So that is.
Yeah.
Number 9.
I'm gonna
Councilor
take a
Penfield.
stab at this, so. I move that we re-advertise the road paving project contract number 24-06. And that we include in our, do I have to do it separately to wait?
No, I had it written, I would do all together.
Okay.
So I would suggest a motion to authorize the re-advertisement of the 2024 road paving project. To request an extension of the paving time from PennDOT and to waive the RCO waiting period for the rebid.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Matters are allowed, please record a unanimous vote. That does it for the order of business. I will now open it up to new business and discussion.
I'm going to ask for an executive session for engagement, please.
Can you be more specific?
Just litigation,
So you'd like to have an executive session at the conclusion of the meeting to discuss matters of
litigation.
litigation. That's up to you, Mr. President. Obviously, it doesn't require a vote, but
Well, I think we're good.
Please. Please,
Okay, but 10 minutes.
10 minutes is all I ask.
Okay, all right.
so we're announcing that we're gonna have another executive session on matters of litigation at the conclusion of this meeting for only 10 minutes or thereabouts,
Yes.
hopefully less.
Yes. Right. Is there any new business and discussion? Okay, so motion to adjourn.
So, second. Oh, no, wait, we motion to recess, I think, right?
Nope, we're gonna adjourn. Yep, this way everybody can go home. They don't have to wait for her to come back to see you adjourn. Like they want to hang.
Aye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.